My story is about purposeful Agile or Agile implementation with intention. When I first presented the organizers asked me, well, is it about more about how technical units can collaborate with business units? And I said, I have a very simple answer for that. They don't. So this is it, end of the story. This can be I hope, the shortest presentation in the history ever. It ends here. Or if you want more about this, you can say there's Agile adoption stages, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. All good things are 3. And why a cat? For 3 reasons also. 1, because why not? 2, it's always good to have a cat in your presentations, give good references. And 3rd, I think it looks like a cat that can certify you on each of these levels. So if you want more, we still have some hope. But because if units can't, I think units can't collaborate, people do. People can collaborate. So that's the good news. And the story is more about an Agile adoption from a peopleware perspective. And those 3 stages, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, as I've seen them, there are the how-to stage, the therapy stage, and the purpose stage. So let me go you through these 3 stages. First one, back in 2006, it was Agile maybe a silver bullet. So this was the yes we do attitude. Well, I'm just putting here this the slide of my presentation back in 2006 about how Agile and XP works with iteration. It's still good, but I won't take you more than 2 seconds of your time on the slide. You already know this. And what happens? When we are in the yes we do phase, there's this team, development team, with a Scrum Master that protects the team. Well, whom is she protecting them for? Maybe from the business people that are crazy, have crazy ideas. And there's someone there in the organization that is called a product owner. We don't know exactly what he wants, but we definitely can find someone to throw this role on his head. And he has to bear something that it's related to requirements, a document of requirements, and he has to properly do that, transform that in a backlog of user stories. Afterwards, when the development team nicely iterate on development, there's another guy somewhere. Yeah, maybe you don't see well, I'm sorry. It's a tester, the QA guy is a tester that has to bear what the feature sort of, and then we deliver after a number of sprints into production or to operation. So even if we iterate nicely and in a very agile way in the development software team, there are still silos, and the others don't get it. We still go from requirements to what the features, and the team is very sad. What the others don't get it. I call the stage the Agile ghetto. So from my experience, did you experience something like that? Did anyone experience this? Okay, thank you. For me, this was the major situation back still in 2013. Might be in some cases right now, but the good news is that this evolved. And the first thing that evolved is that Agile teams reached the universal answer, all the problems in the world, that are the others. So the others don't get it, and that allows us to go to the second stage. The second stage, which is awareness that we acquire, that Agile is not about, yes, we do another method. Iteration, practices, Scrum, it's not everything is in there. It's the yes, we are attitude. The yes, we are attitude is, well, we still are between us, and because there are more, it's the mindset. So that's the mindset stage. The mindset stage to acquire more of that awareness, we get rid of those people because they don't get it. Operations also, they are too rigid to understand. And we bring in a coach, an Agile coach, eventually me. No, I'm not a coach, I'm a business DJ. And the coach will implement with you gaming. These are very good games, Agile games. This is awesome. Create shared values, team shared value. This is awesome also. Find some internal resource and with real coaching. This is awesome. So all this brings value. But more awareness you have, more you realize that the others don't get it, and more unhappy we are. So this is one of the situation I have really often, and I call it the Agile despair. So Agile teams are desperate because the others don't get it. People resist to change. Manager resist to change. Now that we are talking about change, I would like you to make a little experiment. Change something on you. So I will give the example, because it's always good to give you an example. I had this wonderful socks from AgileByExample. So I'll take on one sock. So do something, change something on you. Okay. Great. Everyone is done? Okay. Now I have the second part of the exercise. Change something on your neighbor. So the people that don't have a neighbor, yeah. So, and please really do it. I mean, don't do it for him, you know. Really grab the other and change something. So, Puritan. Okay. Okay, how did it feel, the first part of the exercise? Comfortable. How did the second part of the exercise feel? Uncomfortable, a little bit awkward. That's the same. So, coaching me to take off my second socket, anybody? No? Okay, so I'll have to do the rest of the talk with one socket on and one off. That's the simple experiment to show that changing someone else is practically impossible. Change happens one person at the time, and that person is you. So or me. I mean, I'm changing only myself. And this leads me to one quote I love a lot. Is that people are not resisting to change. People will change when they will know why. It's from the fifth discipline of Peter Senge. And it's a good transition for what I call actually this third stage of Agile adoption, that it's the transforming organization for Agile with a purpose. So this is this word. We are starting from the how-to. It's a cool method, collaborative. Then we realize that methods are not enough. It's about mindset, therapy, and the threshold is what we realize that the most powerful thing is having a purpose. Then we'll go to usefulness and prototyping and transform. I'll talk about that later. So yeah, from yes, we do, to yes, we are, and then it's yes, we contribute. We contribute to something. It's the intentional product. I call this purposeful agile, but actually I think that it's more interesting to put it as agile with intention. And purpose, there's one thing that someone said, I don't remember who, but I'm quoting here, throw a purpose in the middle of the crowd and they will self-organize. As long as they have a purpose, all these guys, business, operations, QA, testers, developers, whatever they'll pick, they will self-organize to have a nice outcome. And it's what I call Agile shared dream. So I was so in love with all the effects of Keynote that I really wanted to put all of them on the slide. There's all the so this is my purposeful agile stage, that agile shared dream. What is your shared dream? And come on, then you can have coaches and put different methods in place. And this is, by the way, what I'm calling myself, an agile business DJ. You can mix whatever practices you want if the purpose is in place. So, okay, we talk about product outcome, but this is the intentional product. So what is your shared dream? And I want you now just to close your eyes for 10 seconds and think what is the dream that you share with your team or into your organization. So let's do that. Close your eyes and think about it. Okay. Do you have the answer? So if you have an answer, lucky you, share that answer with the others. If you don't yet have the answer, try to reflect on the question, how can I get the answer? How can I do to have an answer about that? So I place my second quotes that I love much more of all the why gurus, modern gurus, that it's from Nietzsche, that says that if you know the why, you can bear almost any house. So yes, it is about the purpose, about the why, but the idea is, what is your intention? What's the dream that you share? After, if you have a dream to make the world better, because at the end of the day, everything that we are doing is to make the world better. If you think about it, even if you think, well, that's too big, so too Disneyland, for me. But at the end of the day, if you're doing something, you're doing it because you believe that will improve something for someone. And that someone, it's the idea of usefulness. Who will it be useful for? So with your team, your organization, client-centric, user-centric, who will benefit from what you're doing? And I truly believe that this user-centric approach has a more deeper social relationship and meaning than all the marketing stuff. We all, as human beings, need to be useful to someone. Family, friends, colleagues, and from a company level, we need to be useful to our users. That's the base point. And if we don't know how we are useful to our users, there is no motivation. They can't be thriving. So for me, this was the epiphany. User-centric is helpful, so we as team become proud of what we're doing. And because we as human beings, we need to be helpful to someone. So think about the usefulness and think, who are those users? If you don't know your users, you cannot, I mean, it's very hard to be motivated. We always can work on very cool technologies, for example, or architecture. We talked about architecture. But if we don't know exactly whose life is better when we're implementing this is hardly motivating. Then experiment, prototyping. Prototyping. But this is the trend of today. But there's a deeper meaning for me there is make things, what you're doing, visible. Something that is not visible cannot be useful. Or put it another way, there's no value or business value until it reaches the users. So, and the first thing is the demo. In Agile world, demo. Always demo and make it visible. You know, you might know the invest of user stories. Who knows invest? Okay, mainly all the people. It's the way that the user story, the characteristics are good user stories. I won't describe it right now, but there's a V there, that it's from having value, business value. I think that V is also important, is visible for the user. Not only valuable, but it's always visible. How visible is our contribution? How the demo is a way to have feedback from our users. And one of the interesting things, I'm checking time here. One of the interesting things I think about doing demos together is that it becomes a great change agent. When your contribution, our contribution is visible, other people in the company start to understand how much sense it makes. That we might work well, so you can get out of the ghetto, for example. And you can have a full house of people from all the business units, you know, those units, I mean the people in the business units, that come to demos. Like in these photos where are legal people, marketing, I said financial, managers, about 40 or 50 people in the room of the demo. At that point, that the team said, hey, we always have budget constraints. So what about selling some popcorn at the entry of the room so we can have some more budget? No, have very creative software teams. So this is the prototyping. I'm really insisting on this because this is crucial, this is major to give visibility. And you know, you're doing demo and experiment. All your product is a continuous experiment. MVP, we talk of MVP, all the product is an MVP. All it's lifelong. It's just an incremental MVP. So prototyping. So one of the things that I discovered when doing this approach of intentional product. So okay, we have product teams now or feature teams. We don't have processes. But always the idea of intentional product. Have an intention clear is that it's a great leader to culture refactoring. Make the teams happier. If the intention is not clear, I think that's not an issue, a major issue. What do you do to make it, to clarify it? The most important thing is to have that intention aligned with the shared dream. So, the slide is for managers. The slide is for managers, you know, those people that don't get it, that are very uncomfortable with Agile. What about having an attitude as a manager to manage like a pirate? What is a pirate for you? If I'm telling you pirate, what's the image that pops up? One eye. Mm-hmm. And what does one eye mean? One leg, one eye. Oh my God. Breaks the rules. Yeah, can see and breaks the rules. Thank you. Sorry? Can see the rules clearly. Yeah, exactly. He drinks, that's very cool. Yeah, that's exactly why I'm calling parrot. Yes, what you're saying, I'm sorry?
That he's achieving his goals by breaking the rules.
He's achieved, yeah.
He uses an illegal way because it's easier, because it's shorter,
yeah.
more profitable to get his goals.
Okay, so he chooses an illegal way to get to his goals faster. What is an illegal way? What illegal means?
Well, something that is not accepted by the common order.
Something that it's not accepted by the common order. Okay, so what do you think about the transformation of Agile in companies and corporations? What is the similitude with what you're trying to say?
Not accepted by the
the common order is definitely not accepted by the common order. So thank you for giving that definition. I don't know exactly how it will work with the metaphor of one eye, one leg. But the idea is, manage like a pirate, observe the rules and break those rules. And to change the common order. And actually I was saying, if you remember all my stages of the Agile Ghetto, Agile Despair, and managers, usually managers are, they were also called sometimes the frozen middle. Do you know that expression? The frozen middle of Agile? Well, I don't think it's fair to call people frozen middle. So I think, well, what about managers to become designers of the new systems? So invite them to be the pirates, to break the rules. So they will be system designers. And in this model, on the Purposeful Agile, the first thing it's important is clean the agenda. As a manager, I need to clean my agenda in order to observe how the world works. We're talking about metrics sometimes, and adoption metric or whatever, success metrics. One of my basic metrics in an Agile organization is how full a manager's agenda is. If you have managers or C-level people that have fully booked agenda, this is a good indicator that the organization is not agile. So the first thing is clean the agenda to be ready to observe the transformation. Observe what happens in the system, but observe it once again with intention. Always in intention. I think in 25 minutes of this talk, I have mentioned intention about 30 times. Then take a journey to the edge. By the way, this model is inspired by the theory U. So if you want to have more. Have that journey to the edge. See, well, when I'm observing what happens in my system, what are the patterns that they emerge? Where are the edge? Where is the threshold? And then if some ideas pop up, what can we prototype? What is the demo I want to make at the organizational level? The prototype is 0.8 is that good enough prototype. We talk about MVPs, but I really prefer prototype 0.8 because it's that good enough to be released. And from that prototype, we observe, but we observe also with intention. We observe, but we serve to learn, and then we'll transform. And I think I'm done, because one of the things is, what will you do? My question to you, what can you do right now to turn how to implement Agile, how to make that change that it's your shared dream happen? What ideas do you have? It's cool to have a Q&A on the other side. This is the Q&A time, but on the other. So, ideas. You can go leave with this question for you. Now I think we have what, 2 minutes? 2 minutes. If you have some questions, I'm happy to answer.
Maybe you tell us what the last time that you faced yourself a question, how to turn from thinking about implementing Agile to making it happen by itself. What have you done?
Well, what have I done? I don't have my own company, so I'm working with, I have my own company, but I'm working with other companies. So my first thing is to take that question to them is, what is your shared dream? This is a difficult moment. But if we
at a company level, or
you can start as a team level, or organization, or initiative level. Not at a if it's not at a company, at least as one initiative level. Well, I'm using initiative to change this word, to replace the word project, because I don't really like that. But you have an initiative, a project, and all the stakeholders should be in the room. I mean, all the stakeholders. And then you ask that question. You know, it's the idea of throw a purpose in the middle of the crowd. And one way to throw a purpose is to ask them, what's your shared dream? How do you think you improve your users' world with what we are about to do right now?
Okay, and so that starts a discussion in the room, and nice thing might emerge. Right.
Usually, a very interesting thing emerge.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.